Caldwell's Blind Mans Bluff. Now try to say that 3 times in a row. This is one of those boutique cigars that's taken the cigar world by storm. So let's cut this guy up and see what it's all about. Okay, the first thing that jumps out to you about this cigar when you look at it is the band. It's a very unique band, and I think out of all the Caldwell cigars I've had, they're all pretty unique looking bands. This cigar has basically looks like an old-timey picture with the eyes scratched out, something you probably see in a horror movie. So from the get-go, it's a pretty interesting stick that just kind of grabs your attention. Now right off the bat, you know, when you look at the wrapper on the cigar, it's got a nice creamy brown milk chocolate wrapper. It's a beautiful looking cigar. Now there's quite a few imperfections in this stick. There's a lot of lumps, there's some seams, there's some protruding veins in mine as well. So it is a rough looking cigar, but when you kind of step back from it, it just really grabs your attention. And that band, that rustic look with that old timey picture with the eye scratched out, just kind of makes you just take notice of this cigar. Now construction wise, this cigar has a few spongy spots. There's a few hard spots like in here, but once you get some other areas closer to the foot, I do notice a few spongy areas, so hopefully that won't affect the smoke. Now the pre-lit aromas. This cigar has a very strong hay scent to it. It's followed by what comes off as a mild sweetness. I'm not sure what that sweet notes are, but the hay is pretty prominent in this stick. And the pre-lit draw. Pre-lit draw is a little bit on the loose end. Not too loose that I won't enjoy the cigar, but it is a little looser than I care for. And the flavors that kind of fill your mouth is more of an airy tobacco. There's a little bit of a leather taste on the wrapper, but other than that, I pretty much pick up an airy tobacco flavor with this stick. Anyways, let's light it up and see how the flavors change. Okay, right off the bat, I get these very strong tobacco notes that just kind of take control or just kind of swallow my entire mouth. And right from the get-go, on the back of my throat, I feel a sensation of a black pepper just kind of resting, just right in the very back of the throat. So, interesting start to this stick. Okay, that first retrohale is pretty strong pepper as well. I mean, it really just kind of punches your sinuses. So I'll keep working on it, and we'll see how this guy transitions through the first third. Okay, I'm at the end of the first third, and the flavors have really changed in this cigar. At first, what I picked up was those strong tobacco notes. Now what I pick up is hints of cedar here and there. There's a light, very light, airy, woodsy taste, almost a doughy flavor to it. And in the retrohale, I'm still picking up that black pepper. However, it's not nearly as intense as it was at the beginning when I started smoking the cigar. There's also a spice that's kind of interjected into the retrohale at this point. Now, if we look at the construction of the cigar, construction-wise, the burn is still a little crooked, but it seems to be correcting itself. And the ash was actually holding on pretty well until about a minute ago, and it ended up in my lap. So I was going to show you that, but it just kind of fell apart right before I started filming. Overall, it's been a really enjoyable stick. I'm enjoying the flavors. The light, airy tobacco, or I wouldn't say tobacco, but the woodsy, kind of doughy flavors are pretty good. They really just kind of complement the whole ensemble of the flavors that are presented in this stick. So really off to a good start with the cigar. So I had picked up this cigar at my local B&M for about $7.99, so it's about an $8 cigar. I think online you can probably get it for about $1 less if you buy it in packs, 5 packs to a box. So it's a very reasonably priced cigar. But like I said, it's just so far the first third's been a great tasting cigar. Really enjoying it. It's nothing that's too heavy. The flavors, the light, airy flavors are really good in this stick, and I'll keep working on this, and we'll see what changes in the second third. Okay, I'm at the end of the second third now, and the flavors are really changed in this cigar. I pick up notes of black coffee, and it's a pretty strong flavor. It just kind of sits and just camps out in your palate. On top of that, there's hints of cedar here and there with a very good cream that just kind of interjects itself into the smoke. Now the retrohale, that black pepper that I was picking up earlier, is completely gone. What I pick up now is mainly a cream and the spice. And the spice, at times it has an intense punch to it, and other times it's just very smooth. So this is, like I said, it's a very good cigar. It's transitioned from the first third to the second third, like two completely different cigars, and the flavors, in my opinion, just keep getting better and better as I smoke it. Now, construction-wise, I actually had to touch up the burn, and as you can see, it's starting to get a little wonky again. So I'm having some issues with the construction. Looks like I'm probably going to have to touch it up again. But overall, I'm just really enjoying the stick. I've had it before, and I remember really enjoying it, and even it's been a while, and I don't remember it being actually this good. This is an excellent smoke. I think it's an easy cigar to smoke. It's not one that's too heavy or too strong, so this is just definitely, even at this stage, one I'd already recommend. But I don't want to jump to the gun yet, so I'm going to take this as far as I can go in the final third, and then I'll wrap up this review. Okay, this cigar is getting really hot now, so I'm going to wrap up the review here. The flavors in the final third really dropped off for me. The cigar is a lot drier in the final third. There was some dryness in the second third. It just wasn't as prevalent as it is now. What I pick up now is more of a dry wood, and at times there's almost a paper taste, which I don't really care much for. And the spice is a lot more noticeable in the final third, so much that it kind of just taps against the tip of the tongue. So it's definitely a drastically different stick than the first two thirds that I tasted. In the retrohale, there's a slight cream in there as well. However, it's still that spice, and that spice really scrapes against the sinuses. But overall, I'm still enjoying the cigar. It's just the first two thirds really sold this cigar for me, and I highly recommend the cigar based on the first two thirds. In fact, so much so that I'd say it's one of the better cigars I've had recently. It's just the final third just really dropped off compared to what I noticed early on in this stick. Now, construction wise, I did have some issues. I did have to touch up the burn again. I did have to relight the cigar once, so I've had some construction issues with this stick, but I wouldn't let that keep you from trying it out if you've never had it. This is an excellent cigar. It's an easy smoke, and it's one I just highly recommend. Like I said, it's one of the better cigars I've had recently. So if you've had it, let me know what you think about it in the comments below. If you haven't, run out and get one. I definitely recommend it. If you like this review, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.